African swine fever, risk prevention and mitigation, a collective effort at the feed mill. What is African swine fever? African swine fever, or ASF, is a virus that has spread rapidly in recent years, threatening the Canadian swine industry. This contagious virus only affects suidae, such as pigs and wild boar, so it is harmless to humans. Its symptoms can be subtle or quite noticeable. To limit the risk of introduction, Canada applies strict controls on the importation of live pigs and pork products from affected countries. ASF is a reportable disease. In the event of a confirmed case, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, or CFIA, will quickly impose control measures to curb its spread, such as eliminating infected herds. Major repercussions, such as the temporary suspension of live pigs and pork product exports until the virus is contained, as well as the activation of certain international agreements for the gradual resumption of export activities, will affect agricultural production and the agri-food industry. Reducing the risk of ASF introduction into Canada. Purchasing inputs internationally represents a risk of virus introduction, especially for inputs coming from ASF-affected countries. This is where livestock feed manufacturers can play a key role in terms of prevention. It is crucial to source from reliable suppliers, comply with CFIA requirements, and apply biosecurity measures on a daily basis. A traveler who has visited an ASF-affected country can also introduce the virus into Canada, particularly if they have visited a pig farm during their travels. In fact, a pig can become infected simply by coming into contact with contaminated clothing or products. For this reason, the Canadian government recommends that travelers limit themselves to essential visits to livestock sites for a few days after returning from a high-risk trip. Employers should regularly remind employees to be vigilant about this route of introduction. Preventing the spread of ASF in the event of an outbreak in Canada. The spread of the virus is closely linked to human activities, hence the need to comply with good biosecurity practices. Particular attention must be paid to the cleanliness of vehicles, logistics, and traffic on farms. A farm's environment could be contaminated by the virus and inadvertently introduced into a building. As a preventative measure, feed transporters should avoid entering livestock buildings. Personnel providing technical services must take certain precautions when entering a barn. They must wash hands or wear disposable gloves, wear coveralls, put on shoe covers. In preparation for a potential outbreak of this disease, feed manufacturers should have a communication plan for their staff and customers, as well as an enhanced logistics plan for transportation. Companies must also regularly train their employees on the principles of biosecurity and remind them of the measures to implement in times of crisis. What will happen if ASF is detected in Canada? In the event of a confirmed case of ASF, control zones will be established around the infected site, and permits will be required to move feed and ingredients in those zones. Anyone working on or near the site will have to comply with the CFIA's strict instructions. To learn more about zone and permit management, visit the CFIA website. The CFIA will also investigate recent activities at the infected site to assess the risk of further spread. If you are a supplier to this farm, you may be contacted to provide specific information. Hence the importance of keeping your visitor and transport records up to date. For several years, swine industry partners have been working together on a crisis management plan. This plan includes national communications to effectively coordinate efforts and re-establish ASF-free status as quickly as possible. In short, when it comes to biosecurity at the feed mills, let's do our part together. AQINAC would like to thank the project contributors and the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. This video has been made possible thanks to funding from Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada as part of the African Swine Fever Industry Preparedness Program.